Welcome to the June Diamond Valley Writers Guild meeting. We have an exciting agenda for you this morning. I'd like to remind Zoom participants to please mute your mics. During the presentation a little bit later, you'll have the opportunity to ask questions. Just either flag somebody down on Zoom. Lynette and Kevin will be keeping an eye on that. Put it in the chat if you want to unmic, and pretty much throughout the presentation, you'll be able to do that. And we don't have to wait till the end with Teresa. She's really good at fielding questions. So first off, let's go to our website update. Kevin, do you have anything new for us or something you want to reiterate?
No, there hasn't been a whole lot that's been happening on the website lately. Just a few new book releases, and I did some edits to the forms for for submitting your shout outs and for submitting your book releases or books for the member books page. So it's pretty much automated, and it's a little cleaner than what it was. Other than that, not a lot has changed on the website.
Well, the website looks great. Let's give him a round of applause. He does a lot of hard work. He's also our vice president. All right, the Guild Gazette deadline, Lynette.
Well, good morning, everybody. We hope that you are enjoying the new newsletter from the Guild, the Guild Gazette. If you have any shout outs or news that you want to share, make sure that you usually send them in by the 20th, but today is the 20th. So we're going to extend that deadline this month to the 22nd. And just go ahead and send those to the Guild email box, and we will include those. And we're excited to celebrate your successes. So if you have any questions, of course, reach out to us. Anybody on the board can help you with those questions.
Excellent. Thank you, Lynette. Lynette is also one of our directors, and she is the person you go to as a member if you have a suggestion, a complaint, a speaker that you would like to see us present. That would be fabulous. Reach out to Lynette. Thank you, Lynette. Member benefits, our treasurer, Jessica Bruce.
Good morning, everybody. Happy early Father's Day to those who celebrate. Now I'm here to tell you about the very, very exciting thing about becoming a member of the Diamond Valley Writers Guild. Yes, I know, I see your shocked expressions. You can become a member of the Diamond Valley Writers Guild, and it is super easy to do so. Now you're probably wondering, but what do I get out of it? Well, that's easy. First, you get access to participation in Guild publications and special reading meetings. So as you saw up there, we have is it up there? I don't see it. It's up there usually. The book, the anthology that we put out called Menagerie, that is completely comprised of members and their work. So if you want to participate in future ones, because now I can say with a little utmost certainty that there's been rumblings of another anthology coming. Oh, there it is. It's in the back. If everyone looks to here's my call girl. Here she is. Go ahead, walk it for the room. Thank you. If you want to participate in the next one, you do have to be a member for that process. The other thing you can do is have a shout out or be featured in the newly released Guild Gazette, which is replacing the shout outs, the monthly shout outs over email. The other thing you can do is participate in the Guild reading meetings. Like I said, we have 2 a year. We have the April Poetry and we have the October Prose. Those are my favorite meetings. That's where you, the members, take the spotlight. You get to come up here and talk at people for as long as I am or longer, and then you get to share your work with everybody else. The other thing is if you see what the 5 of us do, Kevin, Lynette, Michelle, Sophia, and I do, and you go, wow, they are so cool. I want to hang out with them every other month on the second Tuesday of that month. You can also run to be a part of the board of directors. We are always looking for new volunteers for that, so please come talk to any of us if you are interested in doing that. Now, let's get to the nitty-gritty of it. What are the prices? Well, we like to keep it affordable, so it is $30 per year for a membership calendar year. So you can join for $30. If you are in college, it is $15, and if you are still in high school or younger, it is $10. Now, there are multiple ways that you can join. You can either hand me cash or check in the back, or you can send it to our PayPal at dvwritersguild@gmail.com. You can also go onto the website. There's a nice big green join button, or not anymore, is it gone? It's there, so you can go click on that, and it'll take you right to our Buy a Membership page. There it is, somewhere. That's embarrassing. So, Otherwise, you can also mail it into our P.O. Box 1154, Hemet, California 92546. That is the slowest way through snail mail. Otherwise, you get a pretty much immediate response back of welcome to the Guild. So if you would like to join and support us, everything you see here is through membership donations, and we really appreciate you being a part of it and contributing to the good work we do. Thank you.
Boy, to have all that energy. Jessica is also our treasurer, which is one of the hardest jobs. She just got past tax time, having to file, and it's fun to have a second job. Yeah, so please, if you'd like to join us on having a second job, we'd love to have you. Also, the Vanna White we had go by with those of you who know that name, that go by with the book, that's Sophia Barber. She is also on the board of directors, and she is our secretary. So we have a 5-person board. Again, elections are in October, and we are looking, there's a rumor somebody is retiring off the board, so we are looking for a new board member. Let's talk about reciprocal groups and other areas that you can strengthen your writing, networking, and your writing chops. We have a couple of groups that are very close by. Temecula Valley Writers and Illustrators down in Temecula, they meet on the third Sunday. So it's usually right after our meeting. They did have theirs last week because of the strangeness of the calendar and Father's Day. But they're going to be meeting at a new location. If you've gone before and you think you know where to go, you don't. They're moving. And so next month in July, they're going to be at the Ronald H. Roberts Library on Pava Road in Temecula. So again, if you look them up, you can Google them. They're a great organization. They do things a little different, and it is Temecula Valley Writers and Illustrators, so it is a much larger group of everything from filmmakers to illustrators, artists, everything. We concentrate predominantly on writing, and they are very broad in who can benefit from their organization. There's also Inland Valley or Inland Empire Writers Club. They meet in Ontario on the 4th Saturday of the month. And I think it's at the Orvit Family Community Center. You can find them online as well. And then there's Writers Coffee House down in San Diego, which is pretty much a networking and more industry related than nuts and bolts or writing or illustrating. It's more about, okay, I've finished a book. What do I do now? That kind of a thing. And that's at the Mysterious Galaxy Bookstore, and it's on the first Sunday of every month. Again, if you want more information, you can email, and we'll be happy to hook you up with that. That's really about it on announcements. Successes. Now, this is my favorite part of the meeting, personally. This is when you, the members and guests, if you're attending even for the first time, and you have a recent writing success, a recent publication, maybe you did a book signing, maybe you were on a podcast, maybe, who knows, you won an award, or at least were nominated for an award, or better yet, you finished a project. Maybe you submitted a story for the first time or the 10th time. We like to hear about what you have done. So if you could briefly, if you're interested, there's something new in your writing life in the last month or so, let's hear from you. Is there anybody on Zoom who has something writing-wise? We've got Kevin. Okay, Kevin, unmute.
Tomorrow, my book releases the third book in my what's turning out to be a four-book space opera. It releases tomorrow, and it's a pretty hefty book, but it's I'm just glad it's finally coming out.
Yay, congratulations. So Kevin, you might want to submit to the webmaster and get it on the book page, just a thought. All right, anyone else? Anyone in the room with any sort of a writing related success that you would like to share? Okay, then if not in the room, we'll go to Dennis on Zoom. Go ahead and unmute, Dennis.
I'm just very excited. It's been a while since I've been to the Guild's meetings, but I want to let you know that I won 2 awards, and my new cover actually has the symbols on there. First of all, there is the Carolina Christian Writers Conference. I won 2nd place in fiction, and this book is called Titus and the Christian Coin. I got back the feedback form that they did for Carolina Christian Writers Conference, and it had 99 points out of 100. So somebody beat me by 1 point. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And then there was a second award, which is a major Christian writers award called the Illumination Awards. This time I got a silver medal, and the silver medal is gigantic, and it just really happens to have like it's like an Olympic medal. It's huge, and so that was the second place also, and that was for a young adult. And this story takes place. It is a historical fiction. It takes place at the time of Constantine the Great, 312 A.D., and that he is the first Christian emperor of Rome. But the time before that was called the Great Persecution, and a young boy that is my protagonist ends up growing up during the Great Persecution, sent off to a mine in northern Italy, and then has to make a trek down to see Constantine the Great because of some things that happen in the novel. So I just want to go ahead and encourage you, if you're interested in the book, it's available on Amazon and it's getting good reviews. And so thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Yay, congratulations. So Dennis, don't forget to go to the website and put in a shout out so we can include that in our newsletter, okay?
Okay, good, thank you.
Please make sure you do that for sure. By the way, having been in the early process of his development and editing of that book, it is a good book. It's a great story. So I have something. Is anyone? Oh, look at the raised hands. Sal, go ahead and unmute.
Yeah, I'm just a guest. I'd like to join sometime in the future. I had a piece of memoir was published in Reader's Right in a magazine called The Sun magazine. And just last week I was notified that I had a poem which is going to be coming out in online publication called Harrow House Journal for the month of June. It's that's just online.
Congratulations, Sal.
Thank you.
And welcome. I hope you do decide to join. Okay, we have Leticia. You're up north, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Excuse me. I've missed you guys being there, but one of the things I did, was do the boot camp at University of San Francisco for writing for young readers. And I've been accepted to the MFA program, but I'm doing a slow ramp up into the program. But the exciting thing about the boot camp for writing for young readers is learning that there's a place for my poetry for young readers. And I can't be more excited about that. Besides reading, I keep reading. And for my young adult writers, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at another one new to me, novels in verse, which are amazing. Besides that, locally, my poem about Hayward, where I live, has been in the gallery nearby, and then it will be at the library in August. And there's a whole bunch of us, and we're all associated with the B Street Writers Collective, which I'm the founder, and I've kept it going through the pandemic, through living in SoCal, and I started it in 2014. So to me, still keeping that alive has been great. But I do miss you guys because I don't have to do anything in my group here at home. I got to set it all up all the time. So this is a relaxing writers group. Thank you.
Great. Well, I'm glad you can at least join via Zoom. Thank you. And we have John McBeardy. He's got something. Looks like you're out in the field again, Colonel.
I'm currently was asked by the VA hospital, Loma Linda, to edit a anthology for the veterans. So I'm knee deep in that editing project, and it's very rewarding. A lot of these guys are like old Vietnam, Korea War vets, and some of them don't even know how to type. And we're getting around those obstacles and recording their voices and stuff and transcribing. Anyway, I have my big release on July 4th, the 250th birthday, and that is Whispers of Mutiny. It's the fifth in my memoir, Operation Rescue Freedom memoir that comes out. I have 3 videos to go with it, and all my YouTube videos, and I'm over 70 videos on YouTube right now. They all support my writing efforts. I've done several paid speaking engagements last month, and I turned one of them into how to write in video. One's up on YouTube now. It's called Writing Tips, and you know me, I keep busy. I'll end it with that. Thank you.
Every month he's got something he's publishing. I don't know how he does it. It's amazing. Congratulations, John, on the upcoming new release.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we've already received the information, so it'll be in the next newsletter. And I believe if you look at last month's or this month, June's newsletter, you'd find a link to his YouTube's. So, because he had one that posted.
Yeah, thanks for your support. Thank you.
You are very welcome, John. Anybody else on Zoom that has an announcement? I have an announcement. So as some of you know, last month I had a short story release in an anthology put out by Divine Feminine Press called The Villains Club. My story Roomies appeared. And what happened a couple of days ago or a week ago is I suddenly got something in the mail, and it's the hardcover. I didn't order it. It's pretty cool when your publisher just like sends you one and you didn't know it was coming. So if you like stories about villains, cozy stories about villains, it's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any place that books are sold. And it has a great group of authors, fabulous stories in it. You can now get it soft or hard cover. And it's neat because it has painted edges. I don't know if you can see that, but it's really, really cool. And it was so nice to get this surprise in the mail. So that was neat. The other thing is I finished another short story last week on and off airplanes while I was in Prague and trying to get it done by a Monday deadline. I made my deadline. I was very excited, got it submitted to the publisher, and now I wait to see whether it is accepted for another anthology. So those are the 2 things I did in the last month. And that's it. Anybody else who has anything? Oh, I see somebody down there. Bella? Is that just a clap? Oh, thank you. Thank you for the claps. All right. Then we're going to move on to the writing tip. We do have a very, very important writing tip today. Jessica Bruce is going to give it. Here you go.
Good morning once again, everybody. Now, when it comes to writing, there are millions and millions of tips out there. Advice out the wazoo. You search up writing and you're going to get columns and columns of advice on how to write and how to do it well. And I have some advice to add to that. And it is tried and true, the best writing advice I have ever received, anyone else has ever received. This is the surefire way to get your writing done. And that's just to sit down and write. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Sit down and write. I know people talk about, well, I need the sun to be in the proper position. I need the lights to be low. I need it to be 12:02 in the afternoon on a Sunday after a chicken was roasted on an open flame in Hawaii. And it's like, okay, that's great. It means nothing if you don't sit down and write. I tell this to very important people in my life, Michelle and Liam, who are some of the best writers I have ever had the pleasure of editing. And they just need to sit down and write. Doesn't matter. You're not writing a first draft that is going to be published. You're writing a first draft. You're not writing the final product. You can't edit something if it's not on the page. You can't publish something if it's not written. So yes, it is a joke to just sit down and write, but it's also the God-honest truth, especially as we're getting into the summer. Sit in the air conditioning and just write 1 word a day. I know that sounds like a lot or too little, but then the next day, you'll have 1 more word written than you did the day before. So just sit down and write. I'm going to jab my finger at the camera. Sit down and write. We have lots of words to share, lots of stories to share, and there's only one way to share them, and that's if they are on the page. Thank you. That's all my writing tip for today.
Thank you for that exceptional, never heard before advice.
Yes.
To all the writers out there. So thank you. All right, now what most people came for today, our guest speaker, Teresa. Let me read you a little bit about Teresa, which I love to call friend. She is a wonderful human being. That's not on the bio, by the way, it doesn't say that, but she's a wonderful human being, always helpful to everyone she ever meets, wants to see other writers succeed. So that's, I think, more important than anything that's written in the bio. But Teresa Halverson is an overly caffeinated YouTuber, editor, and can't pick a genre author of fiction books, including Warehouse Dreams, Dreams Under Glass, and Lost Aboard. She's the owner of No Bad Books Press and a host of the popular YouTube channel, The Semi-Sages of the Pages. When she's not in her writing life, she's commuting through San Diego traffic to her day job. In whatever free time is left, Teresa enjoys concerts, geeky conventions, and reading. Her life goal is to give, oh my gosh, this book is so good, happiness to her readers. She lives in Temecula with her husband, her adult children, and many pets. Find her on all the social medias, but double check the spelling of her last name. It's tricky. And without further ado, Teresa Halverson.
Okay. So just a little bit of just housekeeping. I'm not one of those wait until the end for questions kind of people. If you think of a question, ask it. If you think of a comment, ask it. I actually really enjoy, I really don't enjoy lecturing. I'd rather have discussions. So feel free, those of you on Zoom as well. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, but we'll figure it out. But feel free just to say whatever you want to say and ask whatever questions.
On Zoom, we'll recognize you and you can unmute when you want to ask a question. So either put it in the chat and say, hey, I'd like to ask a question, or raise your hand and either Kevin or Lynette will let us know.
Perfect. Okay, I love it. Okay, so here's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about why we create, where our time goes in the trap of dopamine cycles, and then we're going to be doing some exercises on discovering your strategies so that you can find more time to create and more time to write. So this is me. I'm an author, editor, instructor, and a professional book nerd. I'm actually in the process of a pretty big rebranding, and that rebrand is going to be I'm a professional book nerd. So in 2025, I published Dreadco's Southern California Horror Stories. That was a charity anthology. I edited 15 books, and I almost finished the sequel to Warehouse Dreams, Dreams Under Glass. I am a mother, a wife, a sister, a daughter, and a friend, and normally I don't call that out, but because we're talking about time management, I went ahead and added that. You do have to have the balance in your life, and you do need to make time for these people. I have a day job plus a long commute. Oftentimes that commute is 2 hours one way, and then 2 hours the other way. I'm also a traveler. In 2025, I went to Mexico, Hawaii, New York, Las Vegas, Denver, and Sacramento. I exhibited at Comic-Con, WonderCon, LA Festival of Books, and at so many farmers markets and little bookish events. And I also had a lot of fun. So it is possible to do a lot of this stuff and make time for you to have the fun stuff and to make time for your friends and family too. All right, so quickly, upcoming classes with the fabulous Chris Banner. She and I are teaching a self-publishing. It's a 6-month cohort where we're going to walk you very, very slowly through the strategies of self-publishing because it is hard and it is complex. So that's through Temecula Valley Writers and Illustrators. And then I'm also teaching a class June 28th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on successful vendor classes, successful vendor tables, excuse me. So if you are vending at an event upcoming or you just want more information, that class is only $29. I am recording it, so if you can't make it live, that's okay as well. And then you can come up to me for more information, or you can go to my website, nobadbookspress.com, and sign up there. Yes, ma'am. Yes, absolutely. Usually I'm loud enough for everybody. Okay, so let's go ahead and oh, my animations didn't come through. That's okay. So we're going to go ahead and do a quick activity. And go ahead and pull out your notebooks or whatever it is. Why do human beings create? So let's go ahead and just take a minute. And it can be like why you create, or maybe why we think humans create. Okay. So I went ahead and I put on a couple of reasons. So we as humans are biologically determined to create. This is part of our drive. It is actually necessary for our survival. It's a part of our emotional regulation. It improves our complex thinking. It helps us process the world around us. It builds internal and external connections, and it builds community and relationships. But what reasons? So that's like the science. What reasons did you guys all write down? It's okay, we're all friends here. You can speak. Yes, Michelle.
So if you do have something in the room, go to the mic. I put down a need for expression.
Yes.
To get what's inside outside.
Yes.
And connectivity with others, because sometimes it'll connect with someone else and they will glean something from it. So it's a shared kind of communion of information. And then to impart experience and wisdom as well. That's my 3.
Yeah. And I think that's a big one, especially, it's not just in nonfiction, but also fiction. Have you ever, from a fictional character, felt like, oh my gosh, they went through so much? My life isn't as bad as theirs, even though they're a fictional character. And we can do that with nonfiction as well and be like, oh my gosh, I learned so much from this person. What else?
In the chat, someone said to cure boredom.
Oh, can you expand on that a little bit? Whoever that is.
Let me see if she'll unmute. Will you unmute and expand on what you meant?
Yes, that was my contribution. A lot of time, since I'm retired now, I have a lot of free time, and I'm going like, what am I going to do with my time? And I've journaled since I was in high school, and so I continue to write, but I also putz around in the garage building things with carpentry and wood things. But a lot of just to create in general, not necessarily in writing, but to create anything. There's also a maker. A maker community where you go build something is what the philosophy of that group is. So whether you're building a book or building a little desktop for yourself or whatever, it cures the boredom. Like, I have especially a lot of boredom around, but when I was younger, I didn't have all that free time to be bored.
Okay, Saul, you said avoid urges toward suicide and homicide. Do you want to expand on that?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to process pain and loss, grief. I think for me, it's a good way to process overly aggressive or hateful feelings. And instead of doing that in the concrete world, by trying to assassinate somebody or try to kill myself indirectly, I'd rather write about it. I think it's safer. Write a poem, write a story.
There's
more fun.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for that. And in fact, there are authors out there who will write short stories where they will kill the name of people's exes. It helps people. And the other thing I will say, how many people know horror writers? Anyone met horror writers? Aren't they like the most chill people? They really are, because they get so much out. So, they really are using it to process the world around them.
We've got a couple of the people in the room. Go ahead, you're next. You have to go to the mic.
Yeah.
You must go to the mic or the people on Zoom cannot hear.
Well, my voice is kind of loud too, but but I just feel being creative, everybody wants something fresh and new that they have never had that spin on something. So I'll go ahead and give an example. Of course, I'm African American. I think a lot of things that we've been told about this country has been totally untrue. And we're just in an era now where people can tell the truth, and put their spin on it as far as the creativity that just say, you know, that white dominant male wanted to have that spin on United States history and on world history.
I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yes, very much so. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, Albin, go to the mic. And in the meantime, while you're getting there, we'll go to Donna. She said, for me, it's part of who I am, and it makes me happy, and it gives me purpose. I pray my writing will help others. Donna, did you want to expand on that at all? If you do, unmute. If not, we'll go on to Albin.
I just hope that through my life journey, the ups and the downs, that perhaps I can write something that will resonate with somebody, hopefully a younger person, a younger woman who is struggling to get out of toxic relationships, out of, I'm in the process of writing a memoir about leaving a cult that I was born and raised into. And I feel like I don't want somebody else to suffer, anybody, male or female, but not having a voice. It takes a lot to be able to find your voice again in life.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of, I'm hearing a lot of echoes of voices, stories that haven't been told. Yeah.
Okay, Albin, your turn.
I have a hobby that allows me to discover and enhance the beauty in the things I find in earth, and that's rock sculpting and rock polishing.
Oh, how cool.
I take a mortar grinder and then a electric sander, and I make things out of rock. Sometimes I'll glue them together. Sometimes I'll make them into a hoodoo or sculpture, but always doing something that brings out the color and the texture of the rock. And people say, "Oh, you're crazy. Why do you spend your time gathering and working on rocks? No one's going to want these rocks." And I go, "Well, I want them."
Yeah.
But that to me is, I call it my Zen hobby, because you have to have absolute focus. If you let your grinder slip just for a second, you're going to have a big gouge in your thumb or finger.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's moving at 11,000 revolutions a minute. So you have to have absolute focus when you're grinding rocks. So that to me is a very relaxing hobby. For other people, maybe not.
Thank you, Albin. And Kevin Kendall said, I serial publish. I provide entertainment to readers just like a TV series. Did you want to expand on that at all?
Sure. Yeah, I've been serial publishing all of my space opera books since 2019. Started on a dare, and just with all of the followers and stuff, I get if I miss a publishing deadline, everybody, like, I hear about it within hours. So it's kind of an entertainment thing that I appreciate, that people are looking forward to reading the next chapter. So I just view it like actually my creative writing instructor at university said that it's kind of like a written version of a television series.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just entertainment to me.
That's really cool. And
I have a couple more. Do you have time for a couple more? Okay.
Keep going.
Good.
Yeah.
Say what you were going to say.
I was going to say, I think sometimes entertainment factor about creating, like, people are like, it has to mean something. No, it can entertain. That is perfect. I think sometimes we forget about that. Yeah, keep going.
Lynette said, humans are made to reflect God, the ultimate creator. Would you like to expand on that, Lynette?
I just think not only that it's a biological drive, I think it's something that's just, it's part of our spirit, that we can't not create and reflect that in some way, whether it's cooking or housekeeping or writing or art or sports, anything. We want to have more than just us.
Well said. Yeah, very, very much so. Thank you.
Okay, and we also have, who was that? Sandra. She said, I absolutely have to. I can't help it. I feel whole and complete when creating, whether it's writing, cooking, sewing, gardening, but writing gives me the greatest pleasure. Did you want to expand beyond that? You can unmute, Sandra.
Hi. Yeah, I can't explain it with the writing. I become part of the story. I think other writers can understand that.
Yes.
Yeah, it just gives me the greatest pleasure, and I've done that since I've been very, very young. I started writing when I was, oh, gosh, I don't know, in third grade. My brother told me that, he remembered me writing. So anyway, writing just gives me the greatest pleasure, and I'm really grateful and happy to be part of this group. Thank you.
100%.
Okay, we have Dennis. He said, my publishing imprint is Write for Christ. My motto is Write for Christ, don't delay. He is coming again soon. Did you want to expand on that? Apparently not. Anybody else in the room who would like to share what they wrote down? If not, we'll move on. Okay.
All right. Oop. Did I break it? I broke it. Oh. Okay, so we kind of answered this one already, which is perfect. So the next activity, what stops you from creating? And because this is a time management class, we're going to focus on time management issues. So what in your life makes you go, at the end of the day, you're like, oh, shoot, I didn't get a chance to polish my rocks. Or I didn't get a chance to write that scene that was really in my head. Or I managed to open up the document, and that's as far as I got, and I'm so bummed. And we are going to do, just so you're aware, we are going to do an activity where we're going to write out schedules. So if you're like, I know exactly what happened, it was 9 o'clock yesterday. Okay, we're going to do that part later. But in general, what stops you? Looks like we got pens mostly down. So what'd you all write down? Yeah.
I wrote choosing writing over everything else that has to be done. Can I justify taking the time to sit down and write if I know there's a million and one other things that I need to do?
Yes, that one's a huge one. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, the other day I was sitting outside writing on my patio, and I was like, gosh, there's a lot of cobwebs out here. So I put my laptop down, went and got a broom, and for the next 15 minutes, swept cobwebs. Yeah, because they were bothering me that much. Yep. What else?
If you're in the room and would like to share, go to the mic. Anybody on Zoom?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Greg.
I really wasn't going to share this, but seems sort of selfish. Barking dog.
Oh.
We have a little dachshund that's going like 17, 18 years old. It's going through dementia. And so it goes to a door and just will sit there and just bark at the door. He doesn't want to go out. He doesn't know what's going on around him. Sundowner effect, same thing. It's very similar to Alzheimer's in, people.
Yeah.
But when you're inputting data on your keyboard, and the dog just starts barking, it's like a switch. Just twists and stops everything. And then you go and you try to help the dog out, get them calmed down and everything. So that's one thing that occurs.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What else?
I'll just say that I have a coach who works with me. I take in about a 6-month break. And recently we were having a conversation. He says, you keep coming back to writing. Why don't you think about some things? And the 3 things that we came up with, first of all, was a vision. I needed to have a renewed vision for what my writing was going to be. Part 2, he suggested that you have a sprint. That is a 6-week period where you determine a goal that you're going to go ahead and create something. And I said, okay, I'm going to write an outline. I'm going to write a book proposal. I'm going to write 3 chapters of the book. And so those were the things that I came up with for sprint. And then with regard to max value, something that I can do immediately that will start to have an impact, that will have the maximum value for me to be able to accomplish some things. So those 3 things I was lacking. And once I got them, I went to work. And yesterday I spent a couple of hours, the day before that, 4 hours. And a lot have changed just in the past week since last Monday.
Awesome. That's really great. Thank you for sharing.
I have 4. This is Michelle. Life and work responsibilities.
Yep.
Is probably the number one that gets in the way. And then on top of that is the commitments to others, the things that you commit to do, and you think, I got to do this before I can get over to writing, which leads into overextension.
Yeah.
Which is a big problem for me. Boy, yeah, I can do that too. Sure, I'll do that. Yeah, no problem. I'll do that next. Yeah, I know you do that too.
The broken arm syndrome.
Which then leads to the final, which is fatigue.
Yes.
So it is a vicious cycle, and you've got to break it, or else you'll never write.
Yeah. Yeah. No, all of those are huge. Anyone had the, all right, I have 45 minutes. This is my writing time. And then for me, the other day that happened was that my son called and he goes, I have news. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not writing. And it wasn't a big deal or anything else, but I talked to him for 45 minutes because that's what needed to happen. So yeah, what else?
Anyone on Zoom would like to unmute and share?
Sure. Hi, Michelle. Tap.
Hi, Hap.
How are you doing? Yeah, I just want to share one thing. I find that writing, especially when I write poetry, and it just redeems things. I think I kind of designated this year the year of the doctor. And I went, okay, you know what? I got to make this worth my while. So yeah, I'm going to be writing some poems that are not my usual run-of-the-mill type of poetry, but I thought I actually wrote one about a bunion, and anyway, it came out so funny. Oh, it's hilarious. I sent it to my aunt for Easter, and I said, "Happy Easter from the Easter Bunion."
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it was funny. So anyway, there's going to be some coming that'll be a little different, but I thought, writing poetry has always redeemed things for me, even loss. One of the most beautiful poems I ever wrote just came out of the blue, and it was about my daughter who passed away in 2016. And every time I read it to a group, people, you can hear a pin drop. So that's really all I wanted to say. But really love the group here. It's been really good today. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. All right. Anybody else? Things that stop you from being able to create or write?
There are a few things in the chat. Sandra, would you like to unmute and share?
Hi, yeah. I wrote in the chat that yesterday I'm writing about the protagonist, and antagonist, and I don't like him. I found myself not wanting to write, So I don't know if anybody else goes through that or not with their characters, but I really, really identify with mine.
I can see that absolutely happening. Anybody else?
We've got Wendy. She has something in there. Would you like to unmute and share? Okay, Donna.
I couldn't unmute quick enough. I'm sorry.
There you go, Wendy.
Here we got Wendy.
1 second. Mostly not giving writing a priority, and also being distracted by things in the home. It's kind of like the tyranny of the urgent. The things in the home, when you're writing at home, and whatever is there, it just seems to take precedent.
Yep.
And therefore it is needful for me to go outside the home to the library or something to write, so that I am not distracted, because that's a weakness. If I see something that needs done, well, then that gets first priority. So that's just something I'm working with.
Yes, absolutely. And that's a really good tactic too. If you get distracted by the dusty baseboards or the cobwebs, going to another spot can really help you focus. Yeah.
Donna, do you have something you want to share? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was pushing the wrong button. No, I just said not thinking that my writing is as important as other things in the home, just like everybody else, prioritizing and fear that it's not good enough. And despite being told that my writing is worth being on a bookshelf someday, it's just taking the time to get all the chatter out of my brain and just write and put it out there and keep going.
That's
Anna in the room, go ahead.
Yeah, one of the things that will hold me up a lot that hasn't been said yet is other hobbies that come easier than writing.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah, because so often writing will feel like pulling teeth. It doesn't just come out easily. Whereas a sewing project, there's a bunch of steps already written out for that. So I can almost like relax for the hour that I'm doing that. And just any other hobby feels like it just comes easier because it doesn't take so much active thought.
I 100% agree with that. And I will say that when I have a lot of editing clients, even when I schedule them, I will prioritize the editing clients over my own writing, partially because, I want to help, but partially because it's easier. It's so much easier than to edit other people's than write my own. So 100% yes.
Yeah. Good comment. Sal online. Go ahead and unmute Sal.
Yes, for me, it's just a lot of electronics, getting lost in social media, old YouTube videos, and not so much before television. Television used to be a big thing before. They used to rob a lot of my time, but now I think I've got that tamed more, but just social media in general. I dig up old movies, old interviews, and old stuff from the past, and it's a big time waster for me because there's a lot of garbage out there too.
It is. Yep. Oh, the social media trap. Oh my gosh. Yep.
We have one more, Dennis, and I think maybe we'll move on from there. Is that good? Okay, one more, Dennis.
I'll just say I was doing some exploration with AI while I was in this semi-retirement mode. And what happened is AI can write it all for you. I had some people read some of the ideas that I had. I actually had 195 files that I uploaded. I did an analysis of all those files and asked it to create a book based on it. And it did. The difficulty was all of the sentences were the same length. Friends read it and said there are no stories in here. You're missing the personality. So I have now used just AI for in this recent series of writing only for research, but not for content. And it'll ask you at the end of a research project if you want to go in and have it briefed out as a complete item. And I was just putting in, give me 15 chapters, 3 subpoints, give me 3 subpoints, and it would pop the whole thing out. And so to avoid that, but that was a distraction for months.
Good. That's a good point. Something that you thought was going to help you was not. Yeah, that's a great one. All right. Okay, let's move on. Let's see if my clicker is going to work. Yes. Okay. So how many hours are in a day? How many hours in a day, you guys? We all know this. It's 24 hours in a day. So who said 26? I just said 6. Oh, 6. Yeah. So why can some people accomplish so much more than others? We all have the same amount of time. So my question for you is it these things? Is it that people have helpers? Somebody who comes in and cleans a house for them. Is it that they have a personal assistant? Do they have someone running social media for them? Do they have a partner who is super, super helpful? Is it planning or strategy? Could be. Is it goal setting? Mel Robbins, she's huge on goal setting. Go out there, write down your goal. That's the only way you're going to accomplish it. Is it because people said no? No, I'm not going to go out to coffee with you. I love you as a person, but no, I'm going to focus on my writing. Did they build protective time into their schedule? From this time to this time, I am going to write and I'm not going to do anything else. Do they have a schedule? Do they know how to focus? Are they disciplined? Do they simply have more grit? Are they showing up? And is it consistency? Well, honestly, it's a combination of all of those things. Okay? And people are writing so quickly. I promise you can have access to these. Okay. So here's the next activity. We're going to take a couple minutes and we're going to write out a schedule. We're going to write out a day in your life. Okay. So maybe yesterday might be the best day because it's probably fresh in your mind. But just go ahead and write it out in whatever way you want. I will give you my example, but this was my example. It doesn't have to be this. Okay, and you can be as detailed as you want or not detailed. It's 100% you. I will say, though, we are going to be doing an activity where you're going to be highlighting, underlining, circling, and that type of thing. So the more detailed, kind of the better. So go ahead and take a couple minutes. Okay, so as you can see, this was my schedule. This was a Saturday, so this wasn't a day job day. I had an 8 a.m. meeting with my YouTube channel to send my stages of the pages. So a lot of this was kind of planned around that. And you'll see that something went off the rails on this day at about 8 o'clock when we sat down to have our meeting and record. We did not record. We talked, and we talked about the state of the world. And my day kind of sort of disintegrated from there. We did not do any business stuff. We did not record anything. We talked for an hour and 20 minutes. And then I doom scrolled after that for 10 minutes. Then I, showered, dressed. I texted people, oh my gosh, can you believe what's going on? I did more research, more doom scrolling. I tried to write a short story. I continued to be distracted. I had my lunch with my husband, and then I literally had to turn off social media. I had to turn it completely off, no access whatsoever, so that I could actually get my day back on track. Okay, so this is kind of how, no matter how well you plan, your day can go off the rails very, very easily. So, next exercise. How did you do? So number one, we're going to highlight, underline, circle, whatever you want to do, what you intended to do that day. And I'm going to show you an example. Were there any goals that you planned? Did you reach them? Is there anything you were super proud of? And was there anything unplanned but necessary? Then go ahead, highlight, underline, circle where you didn't intend to spend your time, maybe where things were wasted, and maybe what was unplanned and not necessary. And then go ahead, highlight, underline, and circle any times of high focus. And then, and then I'll go ahead and give you that so you can kind of see how I did mine. I know I brought highlighters. Anyone else need highlighters? No. So, taking it back to the room, where did you leak time? And this is back to a discussion. Looking at your schedule, where was there time leaks? Where were you like, oh, shoot, I went off the rails? Do you have something? Oh, no. Yeah. Well, go for it. I thought you were like.
Yeah, well, yesterday was a holiday. It was Juneteenth.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I am usually the first person on every holiday to text, email everybody those little GIFs. And so yesterday I have like at least 20 people that I say happy Juneteenth to, but there were like 5 or 6 people that normally don't respond that quickly, but they did. And then we ended up getting into a conversation. So I got off a rail, basically just, salutations with the holiday of Juneteenth.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, good, because you got to connect with others and everything else. But if your goal was like, I was going to write during this time, yeah. What else?
Anybody on Zoom want to unmute and share?
Yeah, I will, Michelle. My plate has been super full lately. My mother recently passed away and I'm the executor of the estate. So trying to fit in writing time and manage all of that has been tough. So yesterday I actually scheduled myself just a day off. And I said no. And I watched baseball and I sat with my shoes off and my feet up. And sometimes we have to remember that if we have too much on our plate, we have to watch out for ourselves as far as being able to handle big loads by taking that time off, making sure you're hydrated, make sure you eat, make sure you rest. I think that a lot of us are guilty of the rest part, that we don't rest sometimes. And I had to schedule it. I had to just say, time off today, guys. So
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you're 100% right. We do forget to do that. Yeah. And we just keep pushing like, all right, one more thing. Yeah. And it absolutely hurts us, and it leads to burnout. And side tangent real quickly, true burnout actually changes your brain. It literally, you can actually see on brain scans people who are burnt out versus not. So yeah, it does have not resting does have biological impacts, but that's a tangent. Anyway, what else?
So I'll share. Actually, yesterday was a good day.
Good.
I accomplished everything I set out to do, which is very rare. But I'm like a lot of the people in the chat. If I don't write first thing in the morning, forget it. I got to get up, get my coffee, 15, 20 minutes, wake up, and then get right to it before anything else happens, or it will not happen in my schedule. I had a very tightly scheduled day yesterday. The only time it really went off the rails was after dinner. Because I had intended after dinner to go right up, send out reminder notices for the guild meeting and get my agenda together and do all the things I was going to do. And instead I fell asleep.
Oh, well, again, rest.
Yeah, I fell asleep. I sat down. That was a mistake. And then woke up about 10 p.m. and went and did all of that. And then finally got to bed about 11:30. So that was the only time it really fell off the rails yesterday. So it's not too bad.
Yeah. What else? Anybody else kind of notice a time leak?
This is Jan from the online thing.
Yeah.
About your disorganization bullet, searching for something virtual or real. I'm in the process of working with doing a historical searching of their 50-year history, because they got an anniversary coming up. And when I go along searching for the stuff I'm looking for, I run into tangents. And I go off on the tangents, but I would not call that disorganization, and I would not call that wasted time, because I do learn something more about the history of what I'm looking for. And so, but you have to allow, when you're researching a topic, whether it's for a novel or a nonfiction book or a historical representation of an organization, you run into these offshoots that lead you to something good. So it's not a waste of time.
Yeah.
I would not call it a time leak. I would say you're going there, you're learning something that you really didn't realize was there, and you can put it in your archives and use it some other time. So I wouldn't call it disorganization, and I wouldn't call it wasting time either, but I would call it a time leak, so to speak, because you didn't expect to run down this other trail to go learn about another thing that happened at the same time. So I wouldn't necessarily label all the time leaks as bad. Some of them are good when you're going out and you find stuff and going, oh, this is gold, but not for this project. It's gold for a different project. So I just wanted to... Okay. Thank you.
Good advice. Anybody else?
There's no more on Zoom. Anybody else in the room would like to share? Okay.
Yeah. And then I went ahead and I put on a couple here. So social media is a big time leak. It is designed to keep you addicted, and we're going to talk about that in just a second here. Disorganization, searching for things is a big one. Doom scrolling. Have-tos you didn't plan for or wanted, things like my son calling the other day with I have news. I needed to talk to him. Not creating buffer time, that's a big one. Habits or processes not automated or longer than they should be. So I had, and this is just something so small, I had my debit card got caught in one of those ID thefts thing. And so it got shut down. They sent me a new one, no worries. Well, that was the debit card tied to my Amazon account. Okay, cool. But it was my subscribe and save that it was tied to. And for the last 3 months, every time the subscribe and save comes up, it's like your credit card was declined. And I'm like, I know. It doesn't exist anymore. All I need to do is spend 30 seconds going in and deleting that from Amazon, but no, I will continue to get the email that says, hey, by the way, it's been declined, and I have to go in and rechange it. I can fix that, but for whatever reason, I'm not doing that. And then chatting with people. All right. So just a reminder, time is chosen, not found. We don't find time. We choose where we spend it. Other than emergencies. Emergencies are something different. And then try to create buffers for emergencies, especially for those of us, especially like Michelle and me, who tend to very, very tightly pack our lives, because an emergency can really, really hit us hard. Okay, so where does our time tend to go? Well, let's talk about that addiction to social media, that dopamine trap. So dopamine is a hormone. It's a feel-good hormone. It is released with pleasurable food, sex, social interaction, novel activities. And I underlined those twos: winning, feeling like we are winning, and meeting goals, okay? Modern society has raised its baseline. So we no longer go to Disneyland. I mean, some of us do, but we no longer go to Disneyland and like ride that high for months. Okay, we go to Disneyland, we have a great time, and then we're back to our normal lives. Okay, and it is addictive. We crave it more and more and more. And we can get bursts of it with easy activities. And by easy activities, I mean you log on and you're like, oh my gosh, I got a new follower. That's a good little boost. All right. Or, ooh, 12 people liked my Instagram. All right, awesome. I'm winning. Okay. And it can distract us from discomfort, like writing that scene that's like pulling teeth. So much easier to just go on social media and start scrolling. And if you're like me and you use social media for research, and like I will use Instagram, and my algorithm is so built for this. My Instagram right now is full of vendor events. So I can sit there for hours and scroll and say I'm working and trying to find vendor events rather than writing that scene that's really hard. And because I'm on social media and I'm engaging with people, people are liking my comments, so I get good dopamine. Yeah, and that's how it's a trap. Should have been writing, not looking for vendor events in Washington, because I'm not going to Washington. Okay, so you can game the system though. Very easy. Set a goal, crush the goal, and then reward yourself. And so the other things that you can do to help with this is use accountability partners. Anyone in here have an accountability partner or an accountability group? Michelle, how do you use that person? Sorry. I felt like I was talking too much. I needed to send it back to the group.
Okay, great. Well, actually, I have a writers group that meets every couple of weeks via Zoom, that we're only speculative fiction. That's all we do.
Yeah.
And whether we have pages that we want someone to look at, or whether we just want to talk or vent or catch up or make sure that people are still focused on their writing, that's really what it does. And then I also have kind of a built-in accountability group because I live with a bunch of creatives. And you heard one of them today up there expounding on sit down and write. So I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
So that helps. Having people in your life who understand what you want to accomplish and help support that in little ways instead of take away from your ability to do that is huge.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like when you show up for your group, if you haven't been able to write, you kind of are letting them down a little bit? Do you ever feel that?
Yeah, we try not to be hard on each other on that, more encouraging than anything else. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't written, and because the first thing we do in our group is go, okay, what have you done the last 2 weeks?
Yeah.
This very first thing out the gate. And everyone talks about what they accomplished or what they didn't accomplish, what they thought they'd accomplish. And then we, deal with if someone has a plot issue or they've got a character they don't think is working or whatever, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about, if like one of our members is working on her website and she's got a book coming out just before Christmas and she's trying to get everything lined up so it launches right, and she'll share what she's learned and bounce ideas, show us things or whatever. And then sometimes, like the last meeting, we actually went over some pages on my novel and got some great feedback from my my critique partners.
Good.
And and so then we'll close with, okay, what are you going to do the next 2 weeks?
Yes.
And that's how we frame it.
I love it. I love it. You were saying, yeah. Mike.
What's a vendor event? What's a vendor event?
Oh, a vendor event? So like a place to go to sell books.
Okay.
Sorry. Thank you very much. I hate it when I do that, so I appreciate you saying that. Anybody else? Accountability partners? I've got an accountability group, and what we do is we'll do kind of 3 goals with that one. We're like, the universe is aligned. These are the things you're going to get done. And then the next tier is these are the things you're probably going to get done because the universe is not in alignment. And then the last tier is these are the things that the universe has fallen apart, but you still accomplished something. And so that's kind of how we do it. And we meet monthly for that one. You can also use apps to help you kind of feed that dopamine. So I use an app called Streaks, and I use it, I don't use it for writing, but I use it for like, meditation and, walking and that type of thing. But it's kind of cool because it does, I think it was free, but it make you can go ahead and you can push the thing. Oh no, it didn't do it. Hold on. It makes kind of that cool sound. Oh no, it didn't do it. Okay, it makes a cool sound. And then it also will track for you, and it reminds you as well. It's like, hey, you haven't meditated today. Please go ahead and do your meditation time. But you can set it up for literally anything you want. So like I have my newsletter on here because I suck at sending out newsletters. And so it reminds me, it's just a little pop-up to remind me, go do that stuff, okay? And the other thing too, with goals, they are your goals. So sometimes I think people will hear like authors be like, my goal is to write 5,000 words a day. And people will feel like a failure if they're not writing 5,000 words a day. You can have a goal to write 1 word a day. That is totally fine. Okay. I love Stephen King. I think he's a fantastic author. I think he has done so much for young writers, and his book on writing is fantastic. But the number of people over the years that I have talked to who have said Stephen King writes every day, because he emphasized that so much in that book, and it made people feel like they weren't writers if they weren't writing every day. Okay? It's your goal, whatever works for you. Okay? All right, so let's talk about rewards. All right, we're doing okay on time. Go ahead and we're going to take just a 1 minute and just write about any rewards you're currently giving yourself for reaching goals, or any you'd like to do. And the key on this one, again, this is for you. It does not have to be food. Sometimes people feel like they have to reward themselves with food. It doesn't have to. And I'm going to say this, it doesn't have to be self-care. Self-care should not be a reward. Okay? So if you know you need to take a bath on Sunday night to reset and get going for the week, that is not your reward. That is self-care. Okay? Doesn't have to cost money, and you can set it in advance or spur of the moment. And I'll give you an idea. Chris Banner, she's very, very active in the Temecula Valley Writers and Illustrators Guild. She will go after Christmas and buy up Advent calendars. And they're cheap because it's after Christmas, but when she completes a goal, she'll open up a little Advent calendar, and it may have candy inside, a little toy inside, a little Lego inside. And for her, that is her reward system. So take a little bit of time, figure something out. All right, who wants to share? What were some of their rewards?
Here comes Greg to the mic. Anybody on Zoom, put your hand up.
Well, mine's really pretty simple. Once I prepare the files to send to be printed, I think that I've gone through all the things, all the problems that I can possibly find in that file.
Mm-hmm.
I get the reward when they send me back the printed book that I can hold in my hand and look at and thumb through the pages and even smell it. I don't get that thrill with seeing something just on a computer screen.
Yeah.
I only feel that reward, if
Yeah.
you will, when I actually can hold the hard copy book printed with a cover and everything.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. It has your name on it. The cover's what you just, oh my gosh, it's the best feeling. What else?
We have a few interesting ones in the chat. Does
Ooh,
anyone
yay.
want to unmute and share? If not, I can read them, I suppose. Okay, someone said chocolate.
Oh, yep. Nice, easy one.
She also likes to put a gold star on her goal board.
Yes. Yeah. A goal board. A lot of people really like that. I've also known authors who, they'll color in, like they'll kind of create a document and they'll color in different things, when they accomplish things. Yeah. That's a great one.
Okay. Letitia said taking out the garbage.
Oh,
I have a cool garbage chute in my building, she says. So
what?
She says she has a cool garbage chute
Oh,
in her
shoot.
building.
I thought she said dude, and I was like, okay, wait, this is going into a different direction here.
Yeah, but that could be motivating too.
Yeah, it could be. Hello, garbage dude. Can you take out my trash? Sorry, I write romance, can't you tell? It would, yeah.
And let's see, this was Sandra. She said that if I finish everything on my list, I get to watch an extra episode of NCIS.
Oh, that's I like that a lot, because you're not taking away watching it. You're saying I get to watch an extra. I love that. I love that phrasing. That's so good.
And let's see, someone else said, Sal said he gets to play music on his guitar for 10 to 20 minutes.
Oh, good. Ooh, I like that too. Yeah.
I have a less exciting one. When I mark things off my list, I have a program and it turns color. So it little by little, at the end of the day, if I have more of one color than another, I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's gaming it. That's gamifying it. Yeah, absolutely. And that's a little one that can make a big difference. I've also done one thing that I'll do, especially if I'm struggling to stay off social media, is I'll do, okay, write for 50 minutes. And then after 50 minutes, you can have 10 minutes of social media. Yeah, those little things.
That's a Jonathan Mayberry thing.
That is a Jonathan Mayberry thing. I stole that from him. Jonathan Mayberry also puts a dollar in a jar whenever he hits his goals. And then at the end, he uses that money for a vacation. So that's another good one. Yeah.
Alvin, go to the mic.
I feel like I'm at Comic-Con. They do that when you're on a panel at Comic-Con. They make everyone go to the mic, and it's like people like pushing out of each other's way, and yeah.
Well, if I manage to meet my goals, and whether at the home or at the library, then I reward myself by going for a walk about my favorite place and doing my rock counting, because otherwise I feel terrible going out of town to do my rock counting when I should be at the table writing, or vice versa. So that becomes a thing. And every once in a while, I have to go out there for a walkabout just to clear my head out.
Yeah, yeah.
City life will drive you crazy if you don't get out in nature once in a while.
I agree. I tend to do walks as well, especially if I need like a mental health break. Yeah. Oh, no. No? You sure? Oh. Oh, see, now you're forced.
I was actually going to say, both my mom and I are writers, and we both enjoy nice wine, so I would get a nice bottle of wine and share it with her, because we both usually accomplish goals around the same time. So
there you go.
Yeah, get to justify a nice bottle of wine.
I will say, so when I finished Dreams Under Glass, and that book took me 5 years to write. When I was like, and done, my husband said, I'm taking you out to dinner. And we eat out a fair amount, but he was like, this is like a big deal. I'm taking you out to dinner, whatever you want. And like, we're going to truly, truly celebrate this one. So yeah, it helps. Okay. So I always feel like with these time management classes, people are always like, well, how can you do things to find just a little bit more time in your day? Remembering that time is chosen, not found. So a couple things that you can do. Organize everything. This has been huge for me. And I'm not the funnest person in the world when I talk about organization, but everything in my home is very, very organized so that I'm not searching for things, because I find that to be one of the biggest time wastes. So creating room and task baskets. And by that, what I mean is every bathroom in my house has a basket of cleaning materials. That way I'm not wandering around trying to find the toilet cleaner, which always ends up underneath the kitchen sink. I don't know why. I don't know why one of my kids does that. Stop going from room to room. Just like put stuff like outside the room, and then when you go back into the room, you can go ahead and do that. And put things away after using them. This is huge. Put things away after using them. Michelle, go.
Can you repeat that again?
Your kids are in the room. Put things away after using them. You can also, kind of plan out the repetitive tasks, things like the vacuuming, the laundry, and that type of thing. What some people will do is they'll use a task day. So every Saturday, that's their, I'm going to do the laundry, I'm going to do the vacuuming, I'm going to do whatever. Other people will say every evening, I'm going to go ahead, Monday evening, I'm going to do the vacuuming. Tuesday evening, I'm going to do the laundry. That type of thing can help you find time. Optimize cooking and cleaning type tasks. Yes, it costs money to go ahead and buy the vegetables that are pre-chopped. It does, but it saves you time. And over time, those little 5-minute things will add up to an extra half an hour, an extra 45 minutes of writing, especially for those of us who have day jobs. Okay. Oh, this is huge. Cut down on the I just need shopping. How many people here go to the grocery store 2 or 3 times a week, or Target or Walmart or whatnot? Yeah, huge time suck there. Huge time suck there. I know Amazon is not a very ethical corporation. I agree that it's not a very ethical corporation. They show up at my house every day with like paper towels and the toilet paper and the dog and the cat food, because that's so much easier than me going to the store. You can ask or pay people for help. I have a social media person. She creates my Instagrams. That has saved me so much time of me not like falling down the trap of Canva to create Instagrams for the whole 12 people who like them. I know you are one of them. You are. Automate as much as you can. Automate those bills. Okay, anything that you can do, automate it. Don't do I'll get to that later. I am a huge fan of this one. Oh shoot, this got hard. I will do it later. Even though I'm halfway through it, just finish it out. Sprints, this is a huge one. And I did this morning. I had about 10 minutes before I had to leave to come here. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plan out my bundles for Comic-Con. So I sat there and I was writing out like, what are my bundles going to be for Comic-Con? Okay. Set timers and goals. And then what else? What other time tricks do you guys have for saving 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there? Everybody has these.
I use Easy Voice Recorder. You can pay $2, something like that, and I will handwrite at Del Taco or whatever for an hour or two, and then I can go ahead and say it in the Easy Voice Recorder. It has a function that will allow you to transcribe it, and so immediately be able to send to your email, and then you can go ahead and download it from your email, put it into Word, clean it up, and
I like that.
It's been a time saver for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's a good one. What else, Michelle?
I don't answer my cell phone unless I recognize the number.
That's
Period.
Huge.
I just
huge.
don't.
Yeah.
And because so many times it's going to distract me from whatever time sensitive task I'm involved in at the moment, pull me onto another topic and or be something I can't even handle because I wasn't prepared to. So yeah, it also cuts down on all the spam and
oh my gosh,
other calls that come in. And then the other thing that I do that I learned many years ago in a time management class was to only touch a piece of paper once.
Yes.
And particularly mail. Open it, throw away the envelope, process it, whatever you have to do, put it in chronological order to deal with it if you need to later. You don't have to deal with it then, but only touch it that one time until you're ready to pay the bill or handle the issue.
Right, that's huge. And I know I'm guilty of that, picking it up, looking at it, putting it back down again, moving it one counter to the next. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, for my cell phone, I just completely turned it off for 2 hours.
Good for you.
Not airplane mode, just turn it off as if it was like back in the 70s when you didn't have a cell phone.
Do you guys remember watching some of the movies? I think they had to be from the 80s, and people would take the phone off the hook. Yeah, I was like, wow, we can't live that way anymore. What else? What else? Anyone in the chat?
Couple of things. Before I was retired, we used to have at work call back out. So we would let everything roll to voicemail, and then we would have a 2-hour window when we returned all the phone calls and handled them all during that time. We also had files 1 through 31. So if something needed to be done on the 10th, you put that in the 10 slot. And that day, that was your workload for that day. So you weren't having to handle it twice, and you knew that it was going to get handled because when you got to that day, you did the work then.
I like that. That's a really good idea. And that helps you not miss things too.
Yes.
Yep.
Letitia has one. Go ahead, Letitia, unmute.
Hi, in talking about handling things, I learned a long time ago about the Ohio principle, which is only handle item once.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is, especially when I was doing schoolwork, the family went off on a group chat, and everyone chimes in. There's about 6 to 8 people in the chat, and it's like, I'm out of here, guys. I'm busy. And so I was able to just say, I'll deal with this later. And if later meant 2 weeks later, it was later.
Yeah, my husband's a big fan of muting chats. Yeah, that can be a big one. Yep. Anybody else?
Anybody else on Zoom?
Okay. All right. So the other thing kind of to think about is, how do you want to organize your time? Do you want to do time blocking? And time blocking means I'm going to spend 2 hours working on this. Do you want to do a schedule? I will work on this from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Or I won't work on anything else until this project is complete. And for some creatives, that may mean little to no sleep. I have a very dear friend. That is how she functions. She will work on a project all the way through, meaning no to very little sleep. She will not eat. Her butt is in that chair until it is done. And let me tell you, I'm a time block person. It is very hard to co-write a book with that person. I love her to death, but I don't know if that book's ever going to be done. Okay, so let's talk about lists and kind of project organization. And I brought kind of some of my planners so that we can, talk about that. So there's a lot of different ways you can organize yourself. You can do a giant long list of everything that needs to be done. I don't recommend that because it's overwhelming. You could do a list categorized by projects, tasks, chores, things to buy, that type of thing. You can do a list with goals. Like, for example, I'm going to go ahead and post 5 social media posts this week. By the way, on this one, it's recommended to aim for like 3 to 5 goals a day. You can do a superficial, like basically you can write down on your list, I'm going to update my website. Or, and this is kind of what's recommended when we talk about time management, you can do detailed. I'm going to update the bio page on my websites. I'm going to update the event page on my website. If I'm going to update the event page on my website, I have to find my event pictures and kind of writing it out that way. So that way you don't go, okay, I'm going to update my website. It should take me 15 minutes. And it turns out to take 2 hours because you couldn't find your event pictures.
Okay, so that's kind of that recommendation. And then there's a lot of different ways you can use to stay organized too. So, and where's the camera? There, okay, cool. So people can see me? Okay, cool. All right, so this, I know the people in the room can see me. You want to do that? Okay. Okay. All of these are bought through Amazon. Sorry. Okay, so this one here, this is just, it's literally a to-do list. And I used this for years. Let me find a good one. I used this one for years. And it's just basically a big, giant, multi-tiered list. And I would just kind of keep it going. And then every day I would rewrite it. And so that way I didn't get too overwhelmed with like crossing things out or anything else. I would just rewrite it and be like, all right, moving on. I didn't find this to be the most helpful. However, it helped me to kind of not lose track of things. If somebody was like, hey, don't forget to do that, I would put this on that list. I also started using a calendar where I would go ahead and I would put in like when stuff is due, kind of like, who was it that said that they had like pockets where I would put stuff? I would use a calendar for that. And then for all of you writers, because that's who we are, I love this book. This is a planner for writers. It's called The Right Habit. It's by Dr. Nicole Jans. And it allows you, and the reason I love this one is because you set annual goals, then you set quarterly goals, then you set monthly goals, then you set weekly goals. So if annually you are like, I want to write this book, cool. Okay, by quarter one, how much of this book needs to be done? By quarter two, how much of this book needs to be done? And then you break it down monthly and then weekly. And the reason that that helps is for those of us who also self-publish, because it's not just about the word count. It's also about, you have to get the cover. You have to get the editor. You have to get through the developmental edits. You have to do the formatting. You have to find all the keywords and yada, yada, yada. And that can help you stay on track to meet your deadlines. So this, I really, really, and you can see I've got tabs in here. I really like this book. Okay. And then the new thing that I'm doing, and this one, look how thick this one is. So this is a literal daily planner. And I'm actually really liking this method. So with this one, I just started it. You get kind of, your weekly calendar, or excuse me, your monthly calendar. And then you have a daily calendar. And you can do the time blocking thing. So I will write down like from this time to this time, this is what I'm going to do. And then with a different color pen, I will write down how I did. And what I'm finding with this is that I have to create more buffer space for myself, but this is working really well for me to say from 9 to 10 o'clock, I'm going to write on, book 3 of the Wild and Bred Chronicles. From 10 to 11 o'clock, I'm going to do this editing client. And that way I don't fall into the trap of editing is so much easier than writing. Okay. So a lot of different tactics out there. I also, for tasks that I have, I've been using Trello lately. Trello is free, and it is a project management app. Yeah.
Do you find it's easier to keep everything handwritten on paper, or do you prefer digital tracking?
I'm Gen X, so I like paper. But I am doing digital tracking now because the amount of time I was spending kind of rewriting stuff, I was like, all right, this is just getting old. And I was starting to beat myself up too, where I was like, I'm not getting to that. So yeah, now I'm using a combination of the two. But yeah, I really enjoy Trello. Anybody else, any comments? Anyone found something that they're like, this is the most incredible planner app, whatever it is? There's so many of them out there.
Google Calendar and a hard copy. So
Google
I did-
Calendar and a hard copy. I use Google Calendar too. I like Google Calendar because I get little reminders.
I second Google. I second Google Calendar. I use that too, but I don't go back. I have like on Tuesdays I wash the kitchen floor task. But if I don't do it at the exact time I posted it, I did it like an hour later or an hour earlier. I don't go back and correct that. I don't care. It got done.
It got done. Yes, I love that. Yep.
There were several in the chat. Trello was mentioned, Finch.
Finch,
And
yep.
then, of course, Google Calendar was also mentioned. And someone said they track on their iPhone, reminders app on their iPhone.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like that. What else? Anybody else? Any other? Yeah, I think, and I've never been a teacher in a classroom, but I like whiteboards. I have multiple whiteboards in my office at home, and I just like to draw it out. All right, anybody else? Anything else? Can I have my presentation back, please? Thank you. We're almost done here. Okay, there we go. Okay, we can go ahead and let's do this activity kind of at home. So choose things you're going to do. Three things you're going to do to find some time. So organizing your closet by outfits, cleaning out emails, hiring someone to help, automating bills, that type of thing. Choose 3 things this week you're going to say no to. So that coffee date with that one friend that you say, I don't know why we're still friends. We all have those. That 3 times a week shopping trips, you're going to say no to those, and maybe that social media. Decide on whether or not you're going to use time blocks, schedules, or complete projects as they come. It's probably going to be a combination, but maybe try one. And then how are you going to stay organized? How are you going to set some goals? And then how are you going to organize tasks like redoing websites and that type of thing? Okay. Finding time doesn't work though if you can't focus. And I think, I want to say it was Dennis earlier who was talking about this. I might be wrong. So focusing means tricking your brain. You want to trick your brain to say, in this time, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Caffeine can also help, but rituals and habits can be very, very helpful too. So what that means is something like doing a quick meditation, lighting a candle, putting on a specific song. I use this trick a lot. So I'll put on the same song as kind of like my trigger for like brain. It is time for us to write. Okay. Boundaries with loved ones, like we learned about your dog. That one's a big one. Telling people, I am going to write. Please don't bother me unless the house is on fire is very helpful. And tricking your brain, locations, music, and food. I love to write out on my patio because I don't do anything else other than writing. I will sit in the exact same spots. That is my writing spots. And that tells my brain that is the only thing we're going to do. We're going to ignore the emails. We're not going to do editing. We're not going to do social media or anything else. Sometimes I do have to hide my phone from myself. And then another thing for people who have ADHD or odd DHD, keeping your brain actually extra busy can help you focus. So it's beyond the music points. And this is something I just learned. A lot of people, when they're trying very hard to focus on something, they will actually put on a podcast or a YouTube just to have the chatter going to keep half of their brain busy while the other half gets to focus. And this is just, it's a neurodivergent thing. That's all it is. And if that works for you, cool, do it, try it. Okay. We've got all these weird tricks we need to use now. All right, we're getting close on time here. So if there's any rituals or anything that you're currently doing, anyone, how about this? Because we're really close on time. Anyone have a ritual that they use right before they start writing?
Yeah. Okay, I'll say something. If it's in the morning, definitely got to have the coffee.
Oh yeah.
And then I always have a score or a playlist for whatever work I'm working on.
Yes.
So I'll put that on.
Yeah.
And it, most of the time it's instrumental, but even some with lyrics, and it just fades into the background and it just puts me in in the frame of mind for whatever my main character or whatever genre it is, etc.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that too.
Mine is I zone out.
Oh.
So I have a very cinematic mind.
Yeah.
So when I'm thinking of the scene is I'll just sit there and stare at a wall and play the scene in my head how I want it. And then I basically, all I have to do is transcribe what I see in my head onto the page.
Oh.
So of course, sometimes I get caught up just being like, wow, this is a good movie going on in my head, and I'll just watch that instead of writing it down. But zoning out for a while to just kind of like run through it, run the dialogue, run the action, so I know what I want it to look like on the page.
That's good. That's actually a really great idea. Yeah, probably helps prevent you from hitting delete a lot or wiping out whole scenes like I had to do yesterday. It hurts.
Anybody on Zoom who has a ritual they'd like to share?
A ritual or a practice.
Someone said sharpen pencils.
Ooh, I like that. That's good.
There's a lot of caffeine and coffee in the chat.
Yeah, yep.
I actually leave Scrivener open the night before so that when I log onto my laptop, my work in progress is the first thing that pops up on the screen. So I don't get
that's genius. I love that. Good.
It's funny, I do that too. There also says, someone said call mom first.
Oh.
That wasn't any of my kids.
Whoever that was, do you want to expand on that? It's okay if not.
Yes, this is Letitia. We just recently lost my father, and my mom had a mild stroke. And it's just checking on my mom. Are you doing okay? What are you going to do today? And it just gives me a lot of comfort that I know she's okay. And then I can switch gears into whatever I need to do for the day. Or calling her and telling her, I washed my hair today. And she comments all the time about my hair, especially since in her past she was a hairdresser.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. So that kind of clears your brain so you can go ahead and focus on the writing. That's cool. I like that. All right. Okay. I'm going to keep us moving along here. So resources. So Becca Syme, I just started taking her productivity. It's free. You just go and you just sign up for her newsletters. So for 30 days, she sends you a little productivity task. And I just started doing it. It's really, really cool. You can use streaks, Trellos, there's books, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Atomic Habits, and Productivity Project. There are so many books on time management out there. Okay. So in conclusion, we talked about why you create. We discovered our time wasters. We talked about some rewards, things you can do to find time, things you can say no to, how you can accomplish things, staying organized, and then a ritual for focus. And that's it. All right,
thank you. Wow, wasn't that great? Now, she's walking away, but she's got all these books out front. Tell us a little bit about your writing your books and whether you can sell and sign today.
Oh, yes, I can sell and sign today. So I brought I have a lot of books. I brought a couple. So the ones that I brought, I have How to Be a Successful Author Without Losing Your Mind. That is obviously a book for authors. We focused on mental health. Time management is a part of that. And also just kind of getting started. It's a good book for writers as they're getting going with this. I've got Lost Aboard. Lost Aboard is true ghost stories from aboard the Star of India. We interviewed cast, crew, and volunteers to get their stories, and we interspersed it with stories from the logbooks. So that one's a really fun one, so spooky and educational. We've got my bestseller, Warehouse Dreams. Warehouse Dreams is a dystopian romantasy about a teacher trying to keep her supernatural students from blowing up the school. And this year, a hot new teacher has started, and she cannot stand him. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, it's a rivals to lovers, found family, slow burn romance. Dreams Under Glass is its sequel. It is a trilogy, and I'm working on book 3.
Wrapping paper arrivals, that is my Meet Cute. It's a Hallmark Christmas book. So if you like The Kissing in the Snow, it's also a Rivals to Lovers about two rival toy store owners. And you like Hallmark movies and a black cat, that one's for you. And then Lying, Baking, and Surfing is my rom-com. That is also another Meet Cute about a couple who meet while pretending to be somebody else. And they have that perfect, amazing date, even though they are lying about who they actually are. So then when they want to continue to date, they're kind of in trouble. So it's cute. It's a cute one.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. What an amazing presentation. My goodness. I learned so much. So you can see Teresa afterwards. In closing, again, if you would like to support the Guild and what we do here, none of us get paid for this. Join. It's only $30 a year. You can join online. You can, see our lovely treasurer in the back. And volunteers. I had someone in the chat say, where can I find an accountability group? Well, guess what? If there isn't one, start one. So anyone who might be interested in joining some sort of maybe a Zoom accountability group once a month or twice a month, email the Guild. Let's try to get you guys together. The Guild themselves does not sponsor any outside activities, but we're happy to support putting people together who have a common interest in wanting to do something like that. Next month, let me see if I can find my thing. Hold on. No, I don't know. You did. I'm sorry. That's all right. I'll find it.
Here.
Okay. That's not it. Oh, hold on. Should be in there. There should be another bio there that I left. Sure. Yeah. Hold on. It's okay. All right. So we're going on. Next month's speaker is going to be on writing your memoir. So if you're looking at writing a memoir, maybe you've written a memoir and you're not sure that you hit all the hash marks on what makes a good memoir, Angela L. Hoy will be with us. She does live out of state, so she will be here via Zoom, but I'm sure that you'll have to bring your notepad for that as well, and that should be a lot of fun. So that's it. We'll see you all in July. Have a safe beginning to the summer, and those who are here, we're all going to Emilio's if you want to join us. Thank you so much.